The first movie from DC that showed a rather different and an unusual side of the universe was the movie Shazam. And fans all over the world were overjoyed to see it on the big screen, even from the first real news of the whole concept becoming even a movie. And today, we're going to have a first look into the sequel and tell you everything we know so far. Enjoy! Recap: with the second Shazam movie coming out, it should bring more about the Shazam family and everything connected to them. As for the first movie, when the box office was concerned, it didn't gross much. In fact, the Shazam movie was the lowest grossing movie from the world of DC at the time. However, the movie was well received by the critics and the fans, which were probably the main reasons that prompted Warner Brothers to even think about a sequel and eventually confirm it. While all the talks are about the Zack Snyder's universe, Shazam was slowly but surely creeping around the corner, rising through the ranks as soon as the sequel was announced. The confirmation of the sequel didn't come out of nowhere. Fans were calling out a sequel even before the first movie's credits had finished rolling. With this out of the way, let's move one forward and see what's in store for us with the sequel of this franchise. Oh, and don't let us forget, we also got huge news about the sequel, the name of the movie titled Shazam! Fury of the Gods. The main actor, Zachary Levi, also shared his thoughts of a sequel coming out, saying that he's grateful by the fact that he'll be able to bring joy to all the fans in the world. One of his missions in his life, just what he was trying to do so far in his career, with him hoping that the sequel will deliver at least the same trick the first movie did. Shazam 2 release date. Many news flew around in a chaos about the release date of the movie. Firstly, the sequel was set to arrive on April 1st, 2022. This was the case before the date of the movie was pushed back to November 4th, 2022, following the process of Warner Brothers shuffling its calendar with their upcoming releases. However, this was not the final delay either, as the sequel, as of October 2020, was pushed yet again, and the date that stands right now is that of June 2nd, 2023, the latest date set for the release of the movie in UK and US cinemas. Let's hope that this will be the last pushback of the movie because we're just too eager to see it, right? Sandberg had some laughs and giggles about the delay, but he was serious about the plans of the filming and that those plans are not changing whatsoever, despite the changes in the release date of the movie. As for the filming side of things, the movie should start shooting at any moment, if it hasn't already started, so be on the lookout for any new news about it. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait a bit longer for a trailer or a teaser of sorts, maybe even to the 2022 Comic-Con, now that the movie has been delayed for 2023. Shazam 2 cast. From the cast side of things, Shazam would not be a movie if it wasn't for Zachary Levi's charisma and William "Billy" Batson's cuteness, so both of them are coming back for the sequel, reprising their roles from the first movie. Billy's foster family, who include Grace Fulton as Mary Bromfield, Dylan Grazer as Freddy Freeman, Ian Chen as Eugene Choi, Faith Herman as Darla Dudley, and Jovan Arman as Pedro Pena, are all of the faces which we will all see in the sequel returning to do their part in the before-mentioned roles. However, now they come with a bit of a twist. They all got their superhero alter egos with their adult superhero versions played by Adam Brody as Freddy, Michelle Borth as Mary, Ross Butler as Eugene, DJ Cotrona as Pedro, and Megan Good as Darla. According to some resources, the actor signed a 5-picture deal for the first movie, so we'll get to see a lot of them in the near future, which is always a good thing. Other than the overpowered family, Mark Strong is also likely to reprise his role as the villainous Dr. Thaddeus Sivana. The bad news is that we don't know for sure if Djimon Hounsou will come back as the wizard Shazam, because if we glimpse into the past, he disintegrated after giving Billy his powers, so his role in the movie is still wide open regarding his comeback for the sequel. A potential cameo of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam was floating around for a while before Zachary Levi said that it is highly unlikely despite the Black Adam reference in the first movie, with the reason being of him having a standalone movie first, and then showing up in a crossover movie of sorts. However, the cameo of Superman himself, Henry Cavill, is still not out of the picture, so at least that's still in the air, right? It would do justice after the disappointing came of him in the first movie. We're talking about the glimpse of the shoulders down. Shazam 2 plot. The details of the movie's plot have been kept largely under wraps, thus not much is known about it, but this is bound to change soon. As filming is announced to start somewhere around May, this is usually the time when we normally start to see and hear more plot details once the filming is underway. so with any luck, we'll have more to talk about in the coming months. Unfortunately, this is all about the plot. However, on the other hand, theories have been circling around about who will be the villain of the movie and how it will be played out when things are connected to him or her. After Shazam and his newly superpowered family defeated Dr. Thaddeus Sivana and the 7 deadly sins in the first movie, we are given a glimpse of him in his cell in the post-credits scene. Here he meets Mr. Mind, a highly intelligent caterpillar-like creature who is a major supervillain in the DC Comics. His presence is so massive and a menace that he even has his own monstrous society of evil, a society in which Dr. Sivana is a frequent member. We also got this next sentence from the post-credit scene: "Oh, what fun we're going to have together. The 7 realms are about to be ours."
Oh, what fun we're going to have together. The 7 realms are about to be ours.
A moment where Mr. Mind explains the current situation to Dr. Sivana, a setting which might also serve as a setup for the plot of the sequel. The 7 realms, of course, is a reference to the 7 magical lands, all of which are connected to the Rock of Eternity in the DC Comics. This, together with the now established Shazam family in the world of DC, could the sequel explore more of the DC universe, particularly these realms? We'll have to wait and see for ourselves. The 7 deadly sins and their return to the scene is also not quite out of the picture yet, as we've seen that Dr. Sivana seemed pretty determined to get his hands on them, despite them being safely tucked away in the Rock of Eternity. As for Billy Batson's story, after everything was said and done, he has fully accepted his place in his foster family, and he even leans on his buddy Superman to help his brother Freddy from being bullied at school. As for Zachary Levi and his point of view about the movie, he certainly seems keen on a movie crossover with the other superheroes in the worlds of DC, and he might not be quite far from it. While the idea of a team-up movie seems unlikely in the near future, we could see more cameos in the sequel, which could eventually pave the way for a future movie of the sort. On a related note, tell us down in the comment section below which segment of the first Shazam movie was your favorite, whether it was the family team-up or the first steps of Shazam in the spotlight, and why. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.